beautiful people. I'm back with live I would make about human trafficking and money laundering, and it will be in parts because the report I use is quite big and it's too much to handle in one go. So I'm not even going to try that. Just let me adjust this a bit. Um, yeah, so I'm not going to do that all at once. I'm doing it in parts, and um, I will start with um, with my own findings from my own experience, and then in another part I'll try to connect it with the report from it's the report from the Financial Action Task Force, Groupe d'Action Financière. You can find it. It's a report from 2011, so it's not really recent, but I think the information is quite usable still, and I have printed the translated version, so that one is in Dutch. Um, Before I start off, I would like to recommend. I already did that, but I do it another time, and I'll check it live now if it's still up there, because quite some time ago I stumbled upon a movie, and let's see if it's still on there. Um, it is called The Laundromat, and um, I believe, yeah, I see here, I see on YouTube that it's on, that it was on Netflix. I'm not sure if it is still there, and um, maybe there are other ways of seeing this movie, but I can highly recommend this because it actually gives a great look into the money laundering business, and it's a funny thing because we mostly know it from mob movies or something like that. But and of course the mob is using it, but human trafficking has a lot of similarities with the mob and how it operates and stuff like that. So yeah, it's not really a surprise that there are similar things also happening in money laundering business. And my own experiences with this subject is, of course, that I was trafficked myself as a child, and when I found out about that, I wanted to know more. I had questions. I had questions. My former Dutch family members, none of them wanted to help me with. When I found out, um, their response was very weird. They were angry. They were very anxious. I would gather information about what might have happened, and I did have to do that, and I had to do a lot of research because they weren't responding in a positive way to the questions that I had. They told me I was adopted, and um, adoption is also a very difficult thing to accept, and it brings along a lot of challenges. But when and if you find out on top of that that it wasn't a normal legal adoption, but a case of trafficking, that changes everything. It changes everything. And it could have turned out more positive if those people, um, my former Dutch family, um, were helpful with um, finding answers. Um, they did come up with a Brazilian family, and although I didn't do the in-depth DNA of that, I have enough reason to know that it's not my family, and it's also by my own research. And um, I think that they would never expected me to find out that they have a very big hand in the whole trafficking operation network. Um, and the things that I would find out, they would never expected me to look any further. I even believe, and they try to prevent that in many ways. They try to lock me up for mental health issues and stuff like that. It was a really nasty time, and a lot of bad things happened, and so uh, we left the Netherlands and live now in Portugal, where I feel more at home, anyways, than in the Netherlands. And it was not reasonable anymore to stay there because of them, and um, the way of how they were treating us. And yeah, so um, lot of research, lot of in-depth research about the whole trafficking subject, and to find out the amount of influence my former Dutch family had in all of this. And it felt I could deal with it because it felt like I was in I was in a movie, and um, I was some kind of private detective, um, and had to figure everything out by myself. And what I found was shocking. Of course, I mean, that my family, my former Dutch family, kept it as hidden from me that I was trafficked, was only because they were in on the whole trafficking business at the time. And so it was it was really weird to discover all of that and to find my way in it while doing research. And learned also that, of course, I'm not the only one out there. And as we know now, with what is coming out about the children, it's and because of the movie uh, Sound of Freedom, and other documentary like movies, it's more spoken about and in the open. And it's the children are coming more and more into the light. And that's very painful and horrible and horrific, but it's necessary for all of us to know more about this subject, because then we can, um, with all of us together, we can make sure that it won't happen like that again, and that it will never happen again. And I think adoption has been used as a legal uh, door to go through to the illegal world of it, and that is we, they have created a name for it, illegal adoption, which sounds so um, much. It sounds more like adoption. So people still think it's a good thing, even if it is illegal. And the huge scale of it is coming more obvious and more obvious by the day. And I, I truly believe that that is a good thing. Um, and my own experiences with money laundering is um, like the report also says that it is so difficult to prove, to find the evidence of it, because they have created all kind of ways um, to hide the evidence, and to make it very hard to come closer to any form of evidence. So um, what I find a very important indicator of that, of a very big red flag, is when there is a money flow um, coming in uh, with people, and but it just doesn't add up with what they are doing for a living. So I have to be very careful with what I say, but I say this from my own experience, and I use only examples so that I don't that I can't be prosecuted or followed for saying things that are not true. Um, So, for example, we have a nurse. It's they're it's a couple. They are married, and she is a nurse, although specialized. The income is not of that of a doctor or any other medical specialists. So it's very mundane. It's very normal. It's not excessive what's coming in from that side. Her husband is a graphic designer, um, has very interesting clients, and okay, so from that side, more money is coming in, but still it has its limits. So, if we then look at their properties, um, like a Donkerford car, it's an exclusive Dutch car, entirely handcrafted in a factory in Lelystad. And as a graphic designer, probably had something to do with the CEO of that, and you, as a present, because you did something, you created something, you designed graphically something beautiful, and you get his car, and it's not really maybe you have paid a very small amount for it, but it was like a business present. Well, most people get nice cap or or a set of pens or whatever, but a car like that, it's pretty exclusive. And well, and it's further all interconnected, but that's too difficult to get really into. It will go in phases through my lives about through my videos about this topic. So, and then they have played around with a lot of real estate, and always made a lot of money out of it, and just uh, selling and buying houses like like pieces of bread at a bakery. And yeah, it's not really weird, but it's just like if you see um, what's coming in and what the connections are, then question marks will arise. The real estate thing is also, the report mentioned it. It's a really important red flag. Um, so there is one other um, example in this thing, and it's also a couple, and I'm not sure if they still are, but back then they were. And okay, she is has studied law, and well, I think her first job was working for the CEO of KLM, the Dutch airline, the biggest airline, the Royal Dutch Airline. So yeah, that's pretty cool. You're just finished school, your education, and you're his private secretary. That's your first job. Well, the daughter of this person has studied law also, and her first job was to work with the lawyers of the state of the Netherlands, the land lawyer office, and yeah, so you know, I guess the right connections are really important in this business. So, but anyways, she okay, so she does make a nice living, could have made a nice, but she didn't stay really as a lawyer or something like that. It's different kind of jobs, and well, now she's also in really big into real estate, owns a real estate business in Spain, and plays around there with villas and houses, and and one of those connections is a client of the graphic designer. So it's all nicely interconnected, and they all help each other, and they all work with each other and for each other, and etc. And but the group always stays small and very high up in the hierarchy of society. Bravo, ga maar lekker liggen. Ga maar lekker liggen, jongen. Goed zo. Just talking to the dog. So yeah, real estate again. It's huge. Villas for like a million of euros, and yeah, renting and selling, and married, or maybe was married, but anyways, married. I say married because I don't know otherwise. Married for the second time with a huge, also real estate guy, and in construction. He's really big in construction. He is the CIO of a very big construction company, which is specialized in sustainability. So they're all very into the Green Deal and VEF and stuff like that. Um, and they always find each other and then merge together, and it's really cool. And yeah, so the real estate is highly represented. And then I haven't spoken about the amount of houses they still own in Brazil, the land I am originally from. And back then, in the time, during the time of of the trafficking business, they are still uh, in it, but there's so much money laundry possible uh, via real estate, via having exclusive cars as property, via casinos, which um, uh, one of the sons of these creatures have very um, well, intimate relations with casinos in Dubai, and it's business related. But um, it's highly handy and very good usable to have such friends in the trafficking business, because casinos have a huge money cash flow, and um, nobody thinks anything of that. It's not suspicious. And it fluctuates, and it can go up much more, and it can um, so it's a very, very common used instrument, casinos, for laundering money. Um, and it's, I think, highly coincidental they have such close ties to all of those things. Um, so, yes, and then we have somebody who does business with Brazil, and has done an incredible finding and an incredible invention, and is a millionaire, right? And you can only have access to the site of his company if you become a member. There's no phone number contact, only via email. And I know for Bravo, how's up? Bravo. Just a second. Stop. Stop. And there is back then, in when I watched houses while they were away to Brazil, never asked if I would come along to my country of origin. It's not important, right? Um, I noticed there were a lot of servers in the basement, and and I've um, and they had to be on. They had to be always working 24/7, and there was a lot of panic when there was once a power outage, and then the graphic designer came along and had check at the servers in the basement, because they had to be started up again or whatever via a special procedure. And it's all not really a huge thing and a huge problem, what I'm telling here. But if people ask they how they have how they have the possibilities to access those kind of property and stuff like that, then the answers are not transparent. Um, you can't really do anything with those answers you get. And so it's never really retraced. You can't trace it back to anywhere where this all began and how. So that's weird, because if I go to a certain person and ask uh, how he can pay for his yacht or car, then I 9 out of 10 I get normal answer, but not from any of them. So that's also an indicator that that the money flow could be compromised and could be corrupt. So I'm not saying it is, but I'm just saying that all the red flags available, also from what I've learned from this report, they are there, and in huge amounts, not just a little bit, but it's all there. It's all there. So, and then we have, last but not least, we have the the um, the amount of non transparency, like I said, about anything of all of this. And um, there are a couple of weird things also with the companies they own. They're all private companies. Um, if I did once a very in-depth research to one of them, and I found a lot of shell companies connected to it and very complicated constructions made around it they do that to do to hide their, I'm sorry, I had to look at something up, to hide their tracks, and by and anonymizing their activities, uh, and to facilitate illegal transactions. That is also the reason um, the servers could be there in the basement, because they are specifically for that goal to to hide their tracks, to anonymize and their activities on the net, and to facilitate illegal transactions. That when I found out they themselves had something to do with human trafficking, all of these things are very logic that they make use of, because otherwise their business is not even possible. Um, so yeah, there are a lot of weird things, and it, like I said before, it's a family company, it's a family business, and so many of the nephews and stuff like that are also were also learned the tricks and treats of the business, and it's amazing how this subject with this construction doesn't get the amount of attention it should have, because it is a construction that is has happened in as well, especially South America, uh, a lot, the countries there. So and and there is another problem with smuggling immigrants, but that's not my specialty. So I'm just talking about the human trafficking, and it's horrific, the amount of and the ease with how this works in the world, and how it's seen as just a normal business, just like ordering pizzas or hot dogs, pasta. Well, you get my drift, but it's really weird. Um so yeah, and the real estate is not only in foreign countries, not only in Spain and Brazil, but I think in more countries. Portugal would not surprise me, and which I'm sure of. It also in the Netherlands. The guy with the surface in the basement has well, it was a former recreational park, and you cannot live there permanently. But he found a construction and uh, bought it, and provides housing uh, for people who had companies that went bankrupt, or needed any other financial support. And so they have all these kind of constructions, which are indeed red flags, but of course they package it into humanitarian and philanthropist things. And well, the outer world, the sleeping public, which is who are unaware of all of this, believe it. And um, on a huge scale, that makes it very difficult. It's like fighting against multinationals, which actually are. And these people make a lot of money, and that is how they can play around in the world with real estate and with all kinds of uh, constructions with to uh, yeah, to laundry their money, and to anonymize and hide what they are really doing, and make it in the outside world look like they're they're fantastic people. um I want to add something personal to that. It's now like two weeks ago, I got a phone call from the Netherlands. um, there's all obviously also a lot of spam and things that come in when you have one of these. Everyone has the problem, but never get calls with a mobile phone number from there. So I didn't pick it up, and I blocked it. And because I thought, well, if it's one of them, I have not blocked them out of my life and out of my everything just for fun or for the attention. Uh, I did it to be more safe, and to feel more freedom, and to just, I if you find out something like this, there is no way, and there's no possibility to have a normal relationship with those people anymore. Um, they they have harmed my trust in love and life and relationships. So I have to deal that with that every day, which is fine. I am finding my way in it, and but I revenge is not a thing on my to-do list. I think the revenge is that I understand really well what have happened, how it happened, and the reward will hopefully find someday will be find my family in Brazil, and or what's left of it, and and to to um, learn how to trust again, step by step by step by step, and sometimes falling. And these indicators for money laundering, those red flags, I think they're very obvious. And it doesn't mean that when you have someone living in your street who does have these indicators, it doesn't mean that he's a human trafficker. Mm, and if you know that person, and you know how he gets uh, the financial needs to 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 have those things, then there's no problem. But when there is no transparency about how they get those things, and you know what they should make for a living with the profession they have, and it doesn't add up, that then you know that there is something not right about it. Doesn't have to be human trafficking, can also be something else. But um yeah, so that. And what I found very interesting was that when I just found out I was trafficked, not adopted, um, and wanted to know more about it, the first response of um, what have been my former mother. It's really difficult for me to say that because it doesn't feel like that anymore. But anyways, um, the first thing she said was, "There is, you want money? There is no money." And I was like, wow. So you think I want to know more to get money from you? That shows how sick you are. And that's just a proof of that. I wanted to let others believe I had mental issues, but I think those are the real psychopaths who should experience the consequences of what they did, and what they're probably still trying to do. Um, they should live with the consequences every day, just like me, just like uh, every day here when I'm alive is another day without my roots, without my family, without knowing any fuck about them. So, do I blame them? Yes, I will blame them for the rest of my life. And I don't find it necessary that not to talk about all of this, what I know and what I know more in the next part, uh, because you have to understand, if I would not talk about it, I would help them. I would help them with having a nice, easy life and to enjoy their blood money made in such a criminal and horrific way, that if I would do something like that and I would get my bank checks like that, with trafficking human beings, with trafficking women, with to go to baby farms, with trafficking children for all godforsaken purposes. I'm I would kill myself. I can't understand how these people live with what they have done, and um, I'll make sure of it that they will feel that every now and then. And because I know also the wrong people see these videos, and actually they are the good people, because I'm so fed up with what you have done and the damage you have done. And my revenge is that I will live a happy, nice, and healed life from that, all of that shit. And making these kind of videos are helping me and not you. And that's the whole purpose. I'm not here to help you, and I'm here to help others who've gone through similar thing, and to help myself, and but not you, not you uh, who have who have done this, and who enjoy the wealth of it. Sick bastards. I want to close this video with, this is the one of the smallest books I have. Is the Bhagavad Gita, and I don't have any religion, but in every religion there are some things that are beautiful and usable. Also, this one, I'm just gonna open it up on one page, and then we'll see what the message is. Wait. This is a very nice one. It's a bit of a meditation or thing. The way to attain liberation is to concentrate on the area between the two brows, equalizing one's inhalation and exhalation, controlling the senses, mind, and the self, and giving up anger. It couldn't be more beautiful. Um, yes, it's a nice focus to close off with. I wish you all a very nice day. I'll see you soon with part two, and have a great day to you all. Bye bye. Ciao, ciao. Ciao.